So you want to know which is the right cryptocurrency to invest in, right? This is why you're coming to this video. I'm gonna try and give you some tips from my own experience, and I'm gonna share what I'm doing and how I'm researching the coins that I'm investing in. And it's a little bit different from trading to investing, whether you're going to be holding them for longer term or just trading, which would be something much shorter term or medium term at best. So these are the things that I'm going to compare here. I'm going to talk about the differences, and hopefully I'm going to help you to choose the right coins to invest in. Hey everyone, it's OJ here, so let's get straight into it. You need to research your coins. This is the first thing that I want to point out is if you're going to be investing in cryptocurrencies, you need to understand that market, you need to understand what they are, and you need to do a lot of research so that you know what you are buying, right? You wouldn't really go and invest in a company and buy stocks or shares of a company that you know nothing about. You're going to find out everything you can about that company, and you need to find out what is the likelihood of the price of those shares going up. It's the same with cryptocurrencies. So you need to really do a lot of research, and you need to make sure that the currency you're investing in is having a good prospect of going up in price. And I know that at the moment it's quite a hot market. Everyone is jumping in. There's a lot of growth on most of the coins, so it's kind of easy to go into it. It's also easy to choose. There are quite a few cryptocurrencies now that are making a lot of excitement and hype, and creating hype also means that the prices are going up. But you need to, if you're going to be investing for a longer term, you need to pick the currencies that have a good longevity. They have a good potential to grow in that long term, because some of them just come up, create a bit of a hype, and then they fade away, and for a long time nothing really happens. And you don't really want to be holding one of those coins, because it means that you might be holding it for a long time with no profit or very little profit. So even though I'm not an expert in this field and I'm only doing crypto trading in my spare time, I've invested in a few coins as well. So that's something that I'm doing sort of on the side. So it's not my main occupation, and I can't really give you advice at exactly what you need to do and what to invest in. I can just give you some tips on what I'm doing when I'm researching and when I'm choosing what to put my money in. Also, another really important thing here is that I'm actually trading. So even though the coins that I've invested in, if tomorrow the price starts going down and it's really not in my favor, the market is turning, I might sell them. So there are a few currencies that I'm holding really long term, like Ethereum, for instance, and I think it's pretty safe to say that Ethereum is a long-term investment thing, because the price is quite strong, the project is really good, and you know that it's not something that's going to fade away easily. But still, you need to keep an eye on these things, and you need to be informed. You always need to be checking the blogs and the different media that is reporting on cryptocurrencies. There are quite a lot of websites, and they're popping up all the time, new ones and everything. So make sure that you do a lot of research. And your research can start with, there are two websites basically that you really need to keep an eye on. Crypto Compare is one of them, and the other one is the CoinMarketCap. This is the website that, this is probably the first one that you should come to have a look at. What are the cryptocurrencies here that are worth looking at? And the best way to find out is if you arrange them in order by volume. So this is, by default it should be by volume. I'm going to put the link for this website here below this video in the description, so you can grab all the links from all the websites that I'm going to be showing you today. You can grab the links from below the video. So here you can see by volume. Of course, the top one is Bitcoin, and if you haven't yet invested in Bitcoin, this is definitely the one you're going to start with, because Bitcoin is the most popular one, is the most widely used and accepted, and it has the biggest market cap. That may change one day, and I can see that Ethereum is already trying to catch up, I mean, just a month ago, Ethereum was probably half of the market cap that we currently see here. But and what is the market cap? This is basically the value of the coin according to the number of coins that are in circulation and the price. So we can see that with Bitcoin we have over 16 million in circulation. This is around 80%, something like that, because not all of it is mined yet. And because the price is $2,363 at the moment, the market cap is valued at 38.5 billion. So that is massive. That is massive. We have Ethereum coming on the second place with 92 million in circulation, $219 current price, and the market cap currently is valued at 20 billion. So again, really big market, a lot of volume. This is the volume here. We see that it's 875 million in volume. Bitcoin is 1.5 billion in volume. And this volume here is the volume that's been traded in the last 24 hours. So a lot of volume here shows you a lot of interest, a lot of people buying and selling it, a lot of money going into the currency. So this is why I'm saying that volume is probably the first factor that you need to judge with. So generally when you're deciding which coins to buy, you should be looking at probably the top 10. They will change with time. For instance, not long ago Stratis was somewhere around number 12 or something like that, and only last week it managed to get into the top 10. So now Stratis becomes one of those coins that you can look at more seriously and invest in the longer term. And it is actually a good project, but for you to be able to judge that, you need to really go into their websites, read about the project, go into forums, find out what people are talking about this, and not just the general public, but actually need to find out what the crypto community is discussing about these coins. Because for instance, we have something like Ripple. It's a very popular coin with the general public. It's been in the media a lot, you know, a lot of publicity, a lot of marketing goes into it, and banks are using it a lot because it provides a cheaper way of making transactions across borders. So it's kind of replacing SWIFT, which is what most of the banks were using in order to do international transactions. So Ripple is usable, and it solves a problem, which is one of the main criteria that you need to judge when you're looking into a cryptocurrency. You need to find what is unique about it. You need to know that there's something that makes that currency different to the other currencies, so that it can, you know, it can actually have some growth. And Ripple does that. But at the same time, Ripple is really hated in the crypto community because it is facilitating the banks. It is mainly targeted towards the corporate bank sector, and this is not, it kind of goes in contrast to what cryptocurrencies were invented in the first place, right? Also, it is centralized. It is the only cryptocurrency that is centralized out of these here listed on CoinMarketCap. And there are quite a few things basically that people in the crypto community do not like about Ripple. So whether it's a good investment for the long term or not, I cannot really tell you. I know that the price really jumped recently, and this is when it became very appealing to the general public, because a lot of news media outlets started talking about Ripple, and then your average Joe found out that, oh, this is a cryptocurrency that I can make so much money with. But you need to know when to buy. I mean, when you hear about something in the news, in the media, it's usually too late to be buying it. So this is a time to, maybe this is when you discover it, so you might start looking into that currency and researching into it, but don't go and buy it straight away. And while I'm still speaking of Ripple, let me just go into its chart, and basically what we had is, we can see currently the price is down here, but just a couple of weeks ago Ripple reached an all-time high, which was quite exponential growth here in a matter of a day or two. it managed to get to jump really high in price, and this is when a lot of people started talking about Ripple. And I pretty much around this point, my inbox was full of messages from people asking me how to buy Ripple. And this is when I did my video about how to buy Ripple, which you will find on my channel just a couple of videos ago. So this is when people were really interested in buying Ripple, and I was telling everyone it's not the right time to buy it. Right now it's really expensive. Wait a little bit. Some people were not understanding why am I advising that, and people who are looking into long term, they were looking at Ripple reaching $1 or more, so they're not really bothered that they're buying it here, which was probably around 60 cents or something like that, or 50 cents, something like that. But in any case, if you are buying it here, you will basically have this situation where the price goes down, it always pulls back. I mean, when you have such a fast exponential growth, it always pulls back. And in the case of Ripple, it's got a history of kind of pulling back pretty much down to where it started, before that pump. So this is what happened again. We can see it. It retracted. It went all the way down here. So for people who are clever and who are waiting patiently, they probably bought it around here. This is a good entry point because this is a good support level. So this is something that you need to also understand. If you are buying something, you don't really want to be buying it when it's really high. So if you just heard about a coin, make sure that you first watch it for a little bit and go and just research a lot. Watch all of the reviews that you can see online. There are a lot of people who will be doing reviews. A lot of the times there will be fans of the coin, so they might be hyping it a little bit, but make sure that you try to see all of the different points of view. People who don't like the coin, they will be bringing some arguments that might be quite valid. So make sure that you do a lot of research and you gather variable opinion. So this is probably more important for traders as well. You really need to know if you're trading it, where you're buying it. You need to buy it at support level, which is pretty much this point here. We see that this is a support. So now you know that if you're going to be buying that coin, this is pretty much your entry point. You need to wait for that. If you missed it here, don't buy it up here. Wait, look, it's already started to retract. So wait for it to pull back a bit more. Maybe it will go down here. You can buy it here. Or if you have even more patience, you might wait for another dump, and it might even go even lower. You never know. Usually when Bitcoin price goes up, the alternative coins suffer a little bit because they can't really keep up with a fast growth of Bitcoin. So this is a time when a lot of these are going down, and this is a good time to buy. So make sure that you also watch the price of Bitcoin. You should always be aware. You can also check these graphs. If you don't have an account with Poloniex, which is what I was just showing here, you can quickly go to these charts here and you will see what is the chart. Is not ideal, but you can also drag this cursor and you can go to something like 1 week or even shorter time span. So we can now just see what's happened in the last 2 weeks, and this is kind of easier to monitor the price, and this is when you want to see the overall growth of the coin. So this is a very important website here. CoinMarketCap is pretty much the place to go when you're researching coins. And another thing you can do here is if you go to trending, gainers and losers. Now this is for people who will be trading, more importantly. This is where you can see which are the coins that are currently having a lot of spike in the price. So this is something that you might want to keep an eye on a daily basis, but this is not something that you should look at if you are investing. Especially those that have jumped in price, these are not the coins that you should be looking into investing, because these are pumps. A lot of the times these are just momentary, and they last for a little bit and then the price goes down. So you don't really want to be buying any of these. This is mainly to look at what you should be selling if you're trading. and generally when they're on minus, that's when you should be buying. I know that it's a little bit scary to be buying coins when they're on the red, but this is really your ideal entry point, is when they're down. So what you should do, this is just an example here with Poloniex, but you can do it on pretty much any market. You should be going and looking at those that are on minus. So these are the entry points here. And for instance, Ethereum is now on minus. So that could be a good entry point, right? We can see that yesterday it went quite high and now it's pulling back. So maybe you should wait a little bit. This is probably a support level, first support. Then it might, if it breaks that support, it might even go lower to the next support level. You should monitor these things and try to find the best entry point. I mean, ideally a good entry point is this one, but if you only found out about Ethereum today, you missed it. You can't really go back there. So now you might be hoping to reach this support level. You can see that this is flat here. It consolidated for quite a bit, so that is showing you that it's a support level. And there are better ways to find support levels and stuff like that, but I'm talking about very generally here. And you know, if you're not experienced yet, this would be kind of an easier indicator for you to know what is an entry point. Just look at where the coin stopped its growth and consolidated for a little bit before it continued growing. So this is the first jump, and then it stopped. So you have here a support. It jumped again, continued going up, and then it stopped, consolidated. That's another support. It's basically just a price correction, you know, because when the price is rising and rising and rising, at some point it reaches that point where the market is exhausted, the buyers are exhausted, and then it stops growing and it consolidates. So it's just a price correction. Because the coin is strong, the project is good, it keeps growing. So then it stops, it consolidates a little bit again. So as I said, this is a good entry point here. If you're lucky, this will retract and it might actually go back down to somewhere towards here, towards that entry point. So you should be ready to be buying around here. Now this is just an advice. I'm not saying that that's exactly how it's going to play out. So don't follow this blindly, and don't do it just because I say so. Don't go and buy Ethereum just because I'm making an example here with Ethereum. I'm making just an example, okay? You really need to make up your own mind into what coins you are buying, and this is why I'm saying that you need to do a lot of research. If you go to Crypto Compare, here you can also see which are the recommended coins. These are the coins that have good performance and good volume. That's why they're recommended. And here in the top lists by volume, you can see, if you go to Bitcoin, you will see here analysis. So now you can see Bitcoin is traded on all of these exchanges, and you can see by volume which are the exchanges that have the most trading of Bitcoin. Coinbase is number 1, Bitstamp, Bitfinex, Poloniex. These are the top 4. Gemini comes next, and Kraken. So these are all good exchanges. If you want to, let's go to coins Ethereum. Now we can see where Ethereum is being traded. As we can see, Poloniex is the leader in the market for Ethereum. This is where it's being traded the most. Then we have Kraken, Bitfinex, Bittrex. I'm surprised actually. I thought Bittrex should be having a bigger volume, but it's not really that popular with Ethereum. Okay, so this is, you know, how you can just go and gather more information about the coins you are buying. As I said, you need to go to forums, and a good place to find discussions on alternative coins is Bitcoin Talk. So this, again, the link will be below the video. Here you will see a lot of different forums on all of the different altcoins, and this is pretty much by the Bitcoin community and the crypto community. So this is a good place to gather information from within the community. But again, bear in mind there will be many people who are die-hard fans of these coins. So if you read their comments and their posts, you might be caught up in the hype, because some of those people are really constantly hyping the coins, constantly saying how this is the best coin and it's going to reach $2,000 in the next few months, and big statements like that. So don't believe everything that people say, and this is why you should go and gather as much opinion as you can, different opinions, so that you can judge which opinion is correct and which is not. A website which is actually looking really spammy and everything, it's like a blog, but still it provides some good information, is News BTC, because they have these charts here which I actually like. It's again, it's not something that you should follow blindly, but it's just another tool that you can use when you're comparing performance of Bitcoin and other coins as well. So you should go here to analysis and news. This is pretty much the two options that I use from here. You can see what else they offer, but as I said, this is a blog, so it's written by a person or maybe a couple of people, so it will be biased. And also, as blogs go these days, a lot of the articles and a lot of the information is being sponsored. So sometimes, if they're being paid to post an article, it will be really positive and everything, but it will not be the most honest opinion, right? So make sure that you make up your own mind and you don't follow everything that the blogs are telling you. Reddit is also another place where you can gather opinion and you can compare public opinion. So a lot of different forums and everything. And these are places where you can go and you can see what people are discussing about the coin, because when you read an article in the media, a lot of the times that article might be really positive because, as I said, it might be sponsored, or it might be written by someone who is a fan of that cryptocurrency. So you need to go to the forums and see what the haters are saying, and maybe they're saying something that nobody else told you, and that would be very important. For instance, when you're reading about Ripple, a lot of the times people forget to mention the fact that Ripple has a massive supply, really vast supply. If you look at Ripple here, it's 36 billion coins in circulation already. Compared to Bitcoin, 21 million is the total supply of Bitcoin. Currently in circulation, 16 and a half almost million. This is a big difference. We're talking about 38.5 billion supply. This is why the price of Ripple will never go in the hundreds, or even if it does, it's not going to be in the next 5 years. So if you're holding Ripple waiting for it to reach $100, you're going to be waiting for a long time if it ever goes up there. This is why Ripple is, even though it's got a high market cap, 11.5 billion, it is still a really cheap coin. It's 30 cents. So this is because it has such a vast supply, and all of it is already mined. So it's already available, all of that supply. No, it's not really available. They are releasing it in little portions so that they can avoid deflation. But the deflation is already there by default because it's just a really vast supply. So the inflation, in fact, is hard to achieve. This is why I'm not really sure whether Ripple is the best investment for a long term. I think that if you're buying it, and what you should be doing with pretty much all of these coins, and this is what I did, is instead I started as an investor. So I started buying Ethereum, and then I bought a bit of Ripple, and I bought a bit of Dash and Litecoin and Stratis and Monero. These are the good coins. I bought even some Litecoin, even though I find it very boring because a lot of the time it doesn't really move much. But in any case, all of these top 10 are definitely coins that you can buy and hold. But you need to, I started like that, but quickly I realized that some of those are not really giving me much growth. So with Dash, for instance, this is the chart for Dash, and I bought it back in March. So I think I purchased my first Dash around 0.39 or something like that, which was a very good entry point at the time. And then it started going up and kept going up, and with lack of experience and not knowing exactly how it goes, I was thinking that this thing will just keep going, and I kept buying. So I kept buying here, and then I kept buying here, and I even bought some at the very top here, well, not at the very top, but pretty much here, thinking that if it's been going up for so long, it will continue going up, right? I was really wrong, because as I said, with an exponential growth like that, there comes a pullback, and this is exactly what happened. So the price went down, and I didn't sell because I thought I'm holding Dash for long term. I didn't sell it, and then the price went all the way down here, which was even lower than I was buying it, here. It's only higher than the first original price that I paid back at 30 something. So I'm not really at a loss with this, but at the moment I'm just holding, and I don't really have much of a profit. So we can see the price is just consolidating. It went down a little bit, it recovered again. It's now trying to recover and go up a little more, but it's very difficult to go back to these highs. So my advice is to actually learn a little bit about trading if you're going to be dabbling with cryptocurrencies, because you really need to make the most profit you can. And the most profit would be if I had sold Dash here, and if I really want to hold it, I could buy it again when it pulls back. And I could have bought it here, and even not at the very bottom, but even here would have been better than buying it up here, which I did, and now it's below my price. So this is just an example of the importance of keeping an eye on the markets. Even if you don't do it daily, just make sure that you keep informed. Go to CoinMarketCap pretty much on a daily basis. Make sure that the prices are moving up and are in your favor, and check the news. Go to Twitter. All of these coins, all of the good coins at least, have accounts on Twitter, and they push updates all the time. So make sure that you're following their updates, because if they are announcing something major happening, usually when there's news, the prices go up, and this is usually a good time to sell as well. You can unload a little bit. Like when there was news about Dash, this is when these prices were going up, and this was a good time for many people to sell and unload maybe some of your Dash. And then later on, when when there's no news and people are excited about something else, this is when the coin usually goes down and it just becomes flat for a while. So if there's nothing happening for a period of time, the coin will be flat, and this is a good time to buy it again. So always make sure that you use these news, which are a catalyst for the price, for you to unload a little bit and take some profits. If you are too scared to sell all of it, I never sell everything in one go. I sell in little portions. So you can be selling a little bit here and a little bit here and a little bit here, and then it's going to start going down and you stop selling. And then if the price goes really low, you might buy some of it and recover whatever you sold, but you bought it at a lower price, you sold it at a higher price, so you're making a profit as you go along. And you don't have to do that on a daily basis, because these things don't really happen on a daily basis, so you still don't have to be an active trader, but you should be looking at these prices and make sure that you are aware of what's going on with the project, because if the project doesn't go very well, you're risking losing a lot of the value of that coin and your investment with it. So whether you're investing or you're trading, you will need to be aware of what the coin is about, what the project is about. Does it offer any innovation? Does it solve a problem? Does it offer anything that is groundbreaking and different from what is already there on the market? Because that is the price catalyst. That is one of the most important factors that will drive the price. Another important thing for you, especially as an investor more than a trader, will be what is the growth of the community of that coin. If the coin has a good big community to support it, this is good, because it means that even at the times when the price is not very high, the community is still holding, and they're not selling and they're not dumping it. And you know, that happens with Bitcoin, that happens with Ethereum, that happens even with Dash. We are seeing that even though Dash is struggling, it never really dumped, and it never really bottomed in the way that Ripple bottomed. I mean, Ripple, when it pulled back, it really pulled back badly, and that didn't really happen to Dash. It took it a long time to go down, and it has a strong community. So this is why Dash, even though it's not very profitable for me right now, I am still holding it longer term. Another thing that you need to be aware is what kind of developments are in place for the future, because that is also a price catalyst. Are there new projects coming along? Are there applications or things that are being built on that blockchain of that coin that will drive the value and the prices up? You know, these are the plans of growth of the project. You need to know that there are plans for growth of that project. Sometimes coins come up, make a bit of noise, and then they don't really do much. And these are the coins that you can trade with, but you shouldn't really be investing in those. So this is why I'm talking about researching and gathering public opinion, not public, but the opinion of the crypto community, because these are usually guys that really read a lot about these coins and they know about them. So if you see people complaining about a project and not liking it, find out why, because this could be a reason why the price will not go up in future. So go to the forums, go to Reddit, Bitcoin Talk. Most of the coins would have their own Slack chats and Telegram groups. Telegram is actually a very useful service for the crypto community. It's used a lot of different groups on Telegram. Also, Facebook Messenger has a lot of groups, and there's even WhatsApp groups. You know, there's a lot of different groups. Once you start researching into it, you will find them. Don't worry about it. You will also find a lot of videos on YouTube where people are talking about these coins, and you will find a lot of comments. So you can get connected to other people who are in the crypto community from these different sources. And another important thing is that if you're going to be investing in a coin, especially for the longer term, you should not be keeping it in a cloud storage. So make sure that you move away from cloud storage, and you can find the cold storage wallet that can store that coin where you have your private keys. For instance, Trezor and the Ledger Nano S are two very good devices that hold multiple coins. So these are the ones that I can recommend on top of my head. There are also some online wallets that are actually cold storage, because they are you can hold your private keys, and you can even have paper wallets with Bitcoin especially. And all of the coins have their own official wallets, so I would advise to store them in their own official wallets on their websites, because at least you will have the support that will be coming directly from the team of that project. So this is everything that I can advise you here. I hope these are helping, guys. I hope you will follow these tips. And if you found value in this video, if you like it, share it with others, give me the thumbs up, or you can give me the thumb down so that I can improve on it. Maybe just leave me a comment if there's something you particularly disagree with in my tips, and I'm gonna try and do it better next time. Okay, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope it helped you, and I'm gonna see you in my next video.